Well, today we are talking about the Rose Cup races. Big event this weekend.
Yeah, all the noise, the excitement starts later today at PIR as opposed to PIR Raceway, which I said earlier. I think I'm tired this morning. Drew is live there, all decked out, ready to race himself, I think.
Yeah, PIR Raceway would be like saying,
Drew-Carney.
would be like saying, hey, we're heading out. We're heading out live to Portland International Raceway.
And that I
did. We are talking about the Rose Cup races happening here at Portland International Raceway today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The gates open all 3 days at 7:30 a.m., so we're getting very close to that time today. Racing action on the track until about 4 o'clock all 3 days. This is the premier, as they say, premier amateur road racing event in the Pacific Northwest. We have two special guests with us for this final out and about segment of the work week. Todd Harris, his son Calvin Harris, both will be behind the wheel of their race cars this weekend. Todd, you've been a friend of the show for a long time. You're also the owner of Pro Drive out here at PIR, so you teach others how to do the very thing you're doing this weekend. I'm sure you've taught Calvin. So again, can you explain how anyone through some schooling could be involved in these races? Maybe not this weekend, that's a little soon, but by next year they could be doing this.
Yeah, if they've got that need for speed and have always thought, hey, that would be really fun to go try something like that, that opportunity is there. Because as you said, this is a grassroots amateur race weekend. So somebody could say, hey, I watched the race, come on out, take a racing school, and get that racing license and go racing. Be right out here next year.
So you and Calvin are obviously part of the same racing team, but at the same time, if you're in the same race, only one could potentially be the winner. So it gets competitive out there between dad and son?
Yeah, it's competitive. I mean, at this stage, I've been racing 27 years, and he's in year number 2. He's gotten a lot faster, and a lot of these drivers that race our cars, with each year, they get better and better. What he's got to remember, you talk about competitive, he's got a 14-year-old brother who's just itching to be in the race next year.
I'm going to step between the two of you. If I understood that correctly, Calvin, it sounded to me like Dad said he's not too concerned about you as a competitor this weekend. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
I had this vision of you, Calvin, behind, this is your car, by the way, so we can show that right now. I can see you behind the wheel of this car, and as you're flying around PIR, there's your dad's face, like on the steering wheel. Calvin, you're doing that wrong. Calvin, don't do that. Calvin, speed up. Calvin, slow down. I mean, is that happening in your head all the time, this guy's voice?
Yeah, I hear his voice every once in a while. He's taught me everything I know, so every time I make a little error, I'm thinking, God, Dad's probably just getting angry seeing it, but, you know, it's been great out here with him. I've been watching him race for years. I've learned so much from him, and coming out here and racing against him this weekend is really, really exciting, and I can't wait to do it.
I know a lot of dads would love it if their sons would follow them in their passion. So I got to ask you, did you push him a little bit? Did you not push him? What's the key to getting that son to follow you in your footsteps?
Is literally, yeah, without pushing. He's only been racing 2 years. You know, we didn't do any go-karts. We did a lot of other sports, track and, you know, soccer and all that. And so he's able to do this, have some fun. He goes off to the University of Oregon to become a duck. And I think he'll still get back in a race car from time to time in the future.
Kathy Marshall was happy to hear that. We have a duck in our future here in Calvin.
I was going to let that go.
Hey, can you guys come together? Yeah. No, you can't let it go, Kathy. How about this? Final picture of the week. The father-son team of Calvin and Todd Harris. Guys, back to you.
Oh, they're darling.
Kathy, he looks like such a nice young man.
Oh, he does, and I wish him all the best out there on the racetrack. I'm just letting
on the racetrack. Okay, how about in the classroom?
Absolutely.
In the classroom too.
I'm sure he's getting a fine education.
How about on football Saturdays?
Not so much. Calvin, you're going down.
Kathy, of course, a proud Beaver.